Hey, how you guys doing? All right, so got it in just in time. Wanted to do a July update or bench report, wherever you want to call it. Been busy painting, and now I am ready for my next game of Hail Caesar. So if you haven't seen my previous two games of Hail Caesar, always missing a cavalry component. I hadn't got to it yet, and I thought I'd remedy that, and I kind of did in a big way, and I did it all at once. So I went out and got a lot of Perry stuff. So I got 2 boxes of the heavy cavalry, the mounted men-at-arms from the War Roses, the plastic box set, and then 2 boxes of the light infantry. And then I went to Fireforge and got a box of the, I think it's the mounted sergeants, and I got the horses done kind of midweek. I think got them like 4 days ago. I pounded them out and was able to get all the troopers, basically the soldiers on top, done just this weekend. So really, yesterday was an amazing painting day for me. I don't know if, I'm sure some of you guys just like everything, you get in the mood, you're ready to paint, and everything just whack, 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 whack. And you don't even, I don't think I even stood up for a long, long period of time. So my wife had taken my daughters to a swim thing for our church, and they were gone all day in a different town. So I just was sitting down here by myself, and I'd gotten my to-do list done on Friday, so I was like, boom, we're painting. So everything was getting knocked out. Got 62 cavalry, and then the 12 I had already, I kind of retouched them up. So what's that, 74? And I got 2 officers that aren't from that. I got 3D printed, got them done too. So they were okay. Just some models I found on Etsy. I'm like, I need new cavalry commanders. I used earlier for my cavalry commanders. I hate throwing models away, but I'm very unhappy with. I got 2 officers from Fireforge, like the Templar Grandmaster and a different knight that are in that resin that they have, and it went together like a nightmare. I more blame myself than them, but I have heard other people complaining about Fireforge's resiny stuff. I think Martin was lost his mind over some Vargarian guys with axes. I think he like went crazy. I remember him talking about that in one of his shows. And I saw it after the fact that I got my butt totally handed to me by them, and so I was never really pleased with those miniatures. I do want to at some point chuck them in the trash, but I haven't done so yet. I just want to make sure I have enough officers to get that all taken care of for Hail Caesar, because this is basically fleshed out my knights. So I've got a group of 12 heavy knights. I've got a group of 12 heavy cavalry, mounted men-at-arms, and I have a group of 12 light cavalry for both sides. So that worked out perfectly for me as far as I'm concerned. I'll show you all that in a minute. I'm starting to do ACW guys, and I'll show you that too. But let's go ahead and take a peek at these guys, and then we'll go from there. I'm also working on some barbed wire guys I got off Etsy too. They're kind of cool. I got my butt kicked a little bit by that top one, but I've got 3 more to do. So it's nice to have some wire to make chain of command that much more interesting. So yay, that's a quick peek at that one. So slow pan, well, as slow as I can. Still haven't cleaned up for my chain of command game, so I suck. But I really really kind of spent all my time that I've been down here just painting. So then by the time I get back upstairs, I'm like, I'm not putting all these guys away yet. So I will get rid of them probably in a minute here after I get done with this, just so I can make room and start setting up the battlefield for the Hail Caesar game coming up. I'll start tomorrow. The light cavalry I gave, so there's each of these units have got 12 troopers. They have 6 men with lances and then 6 men with bows. I just wanted to explore that avenue of combat of the Hail Caesar rules, having some mounted light cavalry. Might even give them some javelin rules too if they want to, but I'll probably not. I think it'll get too complicated. I've already got the bows already. Those War of the Roses Cavalry, they're a great kit from Perry. They go together really nice. They just kind of they paint really good, and they're rock solid. And a couple struggles with the Fireforge guys, but I think that's more the fact that I'm just a lot more comfortable with the Perry stuff. It's just kind of, it's in my wheelhouse, and I know exactly how I'm going to paint them. I know exactly how they're going to put together, so that just works for me. So it was more of an unfamiliarity. I never used that kit before, but they're great. So now I've got basically you know, 3 cavalry squadrons for each. I've got a whole new division here, or battle, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think they call them divisions. And there's the one knight guy. He's kind of cool. That's a 3D print. And I've got another one over here. He had a lance on him, but it was kind of a, I don't think it had cured very well. The guy I got it from, because it basically was bent, and I tried to bend it back, and the thing snapped. So I took one of my footsore metal pikes and gave it to him. And I think he's a Templar. Not Templar, what are they called? Teutonic Knight. But he fits in well with the rest of the guys. Not the most exciting pose. I like the other guy a lot better. He's kind of more of an action pose. This guy's just sitting there stoically, just watching his guys either win or lose. But yeah, so that's enough of that. And you see the World War II guys behind them. Just finished up spraying and getting these guys all done. Some Confederate infantry. I've got a couple more boxes back over there, and I'll add that on to my ACW collection. And we'll discuss that more at the end of the video. Another box of Confederate infantry from the Perrys, and a box of Zouaves that'll get put together. I've got 3 boxes of Union infantry and 2 more boxes of Confederates coming. And I've already got a cavalry coming to boost up my cavalry numbers, and then I'll get an artillery box. All right, so here's the plan that I've got in my head right now. As I said in a previous video, I think on my 6-month video, I said I'm looking for that mass battle system I want to use for ACW. Did a lot of research, not on the Civil War, but on rule sets, of just seeing what people's opinions were. Went to Reddit forums, just kind of just trolling, looking to see for information. Then, you know, reached out to a few members of the community. Plus, just when I was talking about Civil War battles, I got a lot of great feedback from you guys on Civil War rule sets. I already said before, I'm going to do the with Hot and Lead and Cold Steel, just because I bought the rule book and I've never played it. So that's kind of something that'll bother me. I have to give something a shot. And it looked good from the videos I've seen, and just from reading the book. It looks good. The guy that wrote it looks like he knows what he's talking about. So kudos to him. Looks just realistic enough, but not too complex. The other one was almost like I had to do it. The Brigade and Regimental Fire and Fury. This was not on my radar. I had never heard of the rule set. I didn't know the rule set had been around since the 90s. It was like old school, and it was basically it's from what I've seen and heard, it's like a rule set that's kind of withstood the test of time. I think from what I've heard, a lot of the 90s rule sets were very technical, and previously, and probably 80s, 70s, 60s, as far back as wargaming probably was going. I don't know how far back, probably back in the Napoleonic days. But it seems to be a great rule set. Now they've got the 2nd edition. I don't know how much that's changed from the 1st edition, but it looks like it's a great read. It doesn't look too complicated. Looks like it's got some realistic flavor to it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I bought the Brigade and the Regimental Fire and Fury book. I'm not sure where I'm going to land in that. I feel I want my base unit to be a regiment, but I want to play large-scale battles at some point too. So when I do 6mm, I'm just kind of in my head going, I think they say on the average, it's supposed to be done in stands for each of the base units, either if it's brigade or it's a regiment. So you can, and the average is, I think they said 4 to 8 or 6 to 10, somewhere in that range of stands per unit, and you'll lose stands. I have no problem with that. When I do my 28mm, I'll just take out, like, so my base unit's going to be 24 guys, but I'll say it's each 4 guys makes 1 stand. So I'll just, you remove a stand to take out 4 guys. So my base unit of infantry will be 6 stands. And cavalry will probably be 4 stands, whatever. We'll go more into this later. But if I do 6mm, I'll do the exact same thing, but I'll just have token markers for casualties, and we'll just keep track of it that way. What I'm going to do is, just because it works really good for me, for my learning ability, just sitting here and reading the book is one dimension for me and probably for everyone else out there. So, and probably a lot of you guys have done this before, but I'm going to make a tutorial video, probably a 4 or 5 part on both of these rule sets. And it's not because I think I know the rules or anything, and I'm going to be very slow and very deliberate when I make these. Oh, hopefully, that won't reflect in the cinematography. But I'm going to go through page by page and then read it, and then basically talk through it, show figures, work through it, all the way through each, the units, the maneuvering and the orders, the shooting, if there's different breakdowns of shooting, the charging, stuff like that. Those are just off the top of my head, what I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks. And then I'll be able to, I'll be reading the book, I'll be teaching, I'll be able to paint and go back and listen to it and watch it too, and then continue to read. So basically, what they say is whatever more senses you can incorporate into your learning process, the better your basically your familiarity with it. It should give me a good foundation, yeah. A lot of times I found really good tutorials on these online. Like Alex did an amazing one for Chain of Command. Alex has done several for everyone from Storm of Steel, but his Chain of Command was great. And then of course GDA 2, which I play. Not only did the Lardies do a great one, Scott Driscoll did one. Oh gosh, give me a minute. I'm going to pause here for a second. Oh, I don't have to pause. I remembered. Check your leader TV. I'll have a little. Hopefully that doesn't look too weird when I splice that big blank lack of. I couldn't remember Scott's channel for a second. So he does an amazing GDA 2 tutorial. There's a lot of great teaching games out there. Martin did a great teaching game for Hail Caesar. There's a couple, I think it's Australian guys, did a great tutorial for the new Hail Caesar. So there's a lot of good ones. And there might be some great ones out there for Fire and Fury and for Brigade, and for Hot Lead and Cold Steel. But I just want to do this for myself. And if it helps you guys too, wow, that's great. And maybe make it a little bit easier if you have never played this rule set, you can actually watch the tutorial. Even though you're not going to play it, you might be able to tell what's going on better on the battlefield, and then more enjoy the actual game. So instead of just trying to watch a rule set of something you never ever played, read, seen, you're like, what is going on this table? And it gets distracting for you, because you just can't get into it because you don't know what the heck is actually going on. We're just throwing dice left and right, and no one knows what the heck is happening. So that's the plan. Let's start. I'll just use a couple units on the table while I continue to paint cavalry. I'm going to paint more cavalry too, which is, I feel like I'm burned out on cavalry, but I'm on a roll for cavalry, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to do some Union cavalry and some Confederate cavalry for ACW. And I think I'm going to get the Dragoons, French Dragoons from Perry Miniatures, box that and finish up a squadron of Dragoons, which I've never had and have always not, kind of mad at myself for not having. And I want to get some Polish Lancers, and then I'll probably do some Austrian and Russian cavalry as well, maybe some Prussian stuff, just to start heading back down towards that, getting ready for the next game of GDA 2, which is coming. And if I don't play it every so often, I'll start freaking out. I like to get about 6 GDA games this year in. I think I've only got 2 so far, so got to make some headway. And I've actually got a whole British battalion that I've painted that I've never even used in a battle yet, so that's kind of crazy. And I've got over here to my right, I've got Perry Plastics Polish troops and Perry Plastic Russian troops, so I can probably get 2 more battalions of each out too. So that's the plan. So Hail Caesar, lots of Civil War stuff. I've also ordered a Sturm Tiger, just got that off of Etsy, hoping that'll be here in a week. I'm going to have something fun with that. I think the Germans will counterattack in the chain of command next battle, try to catch the Russians sleeping, and continue to paint ACW, and then just get ready when that's to a point where I can actually play a couple games. Then it's Napoleonics. So I can do ACW a lot faster than I can paint Napoleonics. So unless I'm painting French, I'm Warlord French infantry and greatcoats, I can. Next time Warlord has that sprue sale, I'm gonna buy. You guys better hurry up, because I'm gonna buy every single sprue they got. Don't tell my wife. So I'm going to buy a lot of them because I still have a ton of Prussian, Russian, and Austrian Perry and Warlord boxes behind me to the left for Mike D that I've got to paint. So at some point I need to get a lot of French done to compensate for the fact. Okay. I think that's it. I have ranted enough. I hope all you are doing well. Loving the videos. I've been watching the heck out of all your videos multiple times while I've been painting. So I've got a phone charger down here to keep my phone from dying while I'm watching videos 24/7 painting. So yeah, that would suck to have. If it dies down here, my phone, I'm in trouble, because then I'm like, what am I going to paint? I guess I don't want to bring my computer down here, but at least that's not necessary. So glad I got all these cavalry done. Anytime you can get cavalry done, and in the rear view, in my opinion, is a great thing. You have to have them. They're a pain to do compared to infantry, and it's nice when they're done, because just as I mentioned earlier, my Hail Caesar cavalry game was sad. So I've got right now my ACW cavalry game is sad, but thankfully there was very little cavalry in the American Civil War compared to like the Napoleonic cavalry. So it was mostly out west, but I'm more interested in doing the eastern campaigns, and yeah. But I'll learn more. So that's the best part, I think, about all this, is I'm planning on attacking this chronologically. I'm going to learn a lot too, and so I'm going to read about the battles, and I want to get my knowledge of the American Civil War is basic, so I'm really looking to grow that knowledge while I paint, while I play, having a great time. So that's what historical wargaming's for me. I really not only do you get to have a good time, you get to paint, you get to play, you get to learn. So I mean, that's awesome. So yeah, that's it. And that's it. I think I already said have a great week, but if you didn't hear me, or if I didn't say it earlier, have a wonderful week. I will talk to you soon. We will start playing Hail Caesar momentarily. I'm hoping I get James over here again. He's just waiting for school to start again, which is a couple of weeks here. So his son will be in school. So I'll take a couple of days off during the week every so often to so sneak over here after he gets his son on the bus and play for a couple hours, which is what is great about these games that are from Warlord games, like, you know, Black Powder, Hail Caesar, Pike and Shot. Never played Pike and Shot, but I know Dom from Boots on the Table expressed some frustration at the GDA 2 games because, you know, he's just going to a club and playing, trying to get a game in a night, and that's very difficult with GDA 2, especially when, you know, you've got reinforcements coming in on turn 18. Yeah, unless you've got a place where you can, you know, hole up and play a big game and leave it set up, because I could never get a GDA game in one sitting, no chance. So it's more of a, yeah, it's like a chess game you set up and then you'll play over a week. It's more of that kind of thing for me, at least. That might be a negative of the game, but that's, you know, that's just what happens. That's why you have these other games like Valor and Fortitude and Black Powder, and they're designed to basically get your friends together for 3 hours, 4 hours, and boom, you got a whole game. So what you lose in historical accuracy, you gain in entertainment and getting that thrill of concluding the game, because that's the price you have to pay to for that type of, you know, to do Napoleonics with a group of friends in one sitting. So for what it's designed to do, in my opinion, those systems are fantastic. So enough of that. You guys probably knew that better than I did. I'm excited about this cavalry. They're making me drool, and I can't wait to do some charging, and I really want to see how these light cavalry hold up. I'll probably continue my fantasy spin on this world at some point too. I'm gonna grab some Oathmark Dwarven heavy infantry and some Oathmark goblins at some point and add them in. Yeah, those dwarves heavy infantry look awesome. The sprues, the axes are just, they're going to be a great counter against the goblin, against the orcs. So they look awesome. I'll probably have to get some elves at some point, and maybe some goblin wolf riders or something like that. So that way I can actually, at some point I do want to try Oathmark again, and I can continue the campaign with a different set of rules. So yeah, so that way I'm already halfway there. And it's just neat for me to have that little bit of a fantasy spin on stuff, because I can get everything I want in one game. I know, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody that's a purist for Hail Caesar. I like the rule system. I love knights, but I love fantasy too, so I can get all of them on the table at once, and yeah, it just works for me. I will be somewhat historically accurate in my Napoleonics and my Civil War stuff and my World War II stuff, but I'm going to go a little bit buck wild on the whole operation with my Hail Caesar. So that's it. And actually, somebody actually sent, I keep getting on tangents, and I apologize, but I've been waiting to do this video, and I've been down here painting and listening to stuff and not talking. Somebody said, you know, have you ever done a video on this, on my campaign world I created here, where I can do all this weird stuff and not have to worry about making somebody mad about having orcs at the Battle of St. Albans or something like that. I need to. I need to. I was planning on doing it when I get done with my 6mm stuff, but I think it would be fun to do a little history of. I got to make it up first of this Chark campaign, because I've never really done it, and so that's it. So that'll be something fun to do too at some point, just to put a little bit of more background into this battle. I think that's it. I'm going to say bye for like the 15th time, and wish you all a great week. It's raining here. I hope you're enjoying the Olympics if you're into that. I've seen a little bit of it, but mostly for me, it's been painting. So you guys take care and keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll be right back with some Hail Caesar.